I thought living in his parents' backyard was temporary. Just 2 years, sharing a wall with a mother-in-law who tracked my routine, counted my laughs and weighed my silence. He promised it was only until we saved up money, but every time I mentioned leaving, a new excuse appeared along with that scared little boy look. That way of making me feel selfish for wanting a door that closed just for us. It was on a Sunday afternoon, hearing his mother tell the neighbor I was boring and that he could have chosen better, that something inside me cracked. I started saving money in an old cookie tin under the laundry sink. Went back to doing my own nails and realized there's a price you only discover when you've already paid too much. But I still didn't know that starting over would hurt as much as breaking free. I met Raphael on a Tuesday in March, standing in line at the Social Security office in Meadow. The kind of day you forget quickly or that marks you forever. I was 23 and had just lost my mother cancer. 3 months between diagnosis and funeral. I was there with a green plastic folder full of poorly made copies, death certificate ID, proof of address, hand shaking, heart collapsing. The line wasn't moving, people complaining loudly, children crying, broken air conditioning, March heat in Rio weighs on your soul. I'd been standing for almost 2 hours when I felt dizzy, held onto the wall, took a deep breath. That's when he appeared. "Are you okay?" I looked to the side. A tall man, about 27, jean shorts, team shirt, worried brown eyes. He offered me a small bottle of water. "Take it, you look like you need it." I accepted, drank slowly, thanked him quietly. "I'm also waiting for hours," he said, leaning against the wall next to me. "Came to file for benefits for my father. Died last month." I looked at him. He looked at me, and in that second, without saying anything, we understood each other. To recent orphans in a Social Security line, holding papers and trying not to collapse. "My mother," I said. "It's been 15 days. He nodded. Didn't say my condolences or she's in a better place. Just stayed there quiet, respecting the silence. When they called me an hour later, he was still there. Gave me a bakery napkin with his number written in pen. "If you need to talk." I didn't call, but 2 days later he called. "Hi, it's Raphael from the Social Security office." I laughed. "I remember. Wanted to know if you're okay." "I don't know. Anyway, I'm here." His voice was gentle, unhurried, no pressure. We talked for half an hour. He told me he was a refrigeration technician, worked freelance, lived in Jacarapagua with his mother. She raised me and my brother alone after my father died. Strong woman. I liked the way he talked about his mother. Seemed like gratitude. Seemed like love. We started talking every day. Calls, messages, long voice notes. He asked how my day was. Really listened. Didn't try to fix things. Just listened. In April we met Pastriacci. The Madureira Fair. He came by motorcycle, brought an extra helmet for me. His jacket smelled like machine oil and laundry detergent. I found it comforting. We started dating without announcing it. It just happened. Movies, beach, beer, at the corner bar. He laughed, loud, hugged tight, paid the bills without making a fuss, seemed solid, seemed safe. But there was one detail. His mother called a lot, all the time. "Raphael, where are you?" "Raphael, what time are you coming back?" "Raphael, buy bread." And he always answered, always. Sometimes in the middle of a movie. Sometimes in the middle of a kiss. Mothers are like that, he'd say, putting away his phone. Spoiled her. I thought it was affection. Thought it was respect. Thought it was good son behavior. In June, 3 months into dating, he made the proposal. We were on my living room couch. The studio apartment I rented in real small place, expensive rent. He looked at the cracked ceiling, the noisy refrigerator, the window without curtains. "Why? Don't you come live with me?" I laughed. "We barely know each other." "No, listen. My mother has a house in the back. Small, but it's ours. We'll renovate, fix it our way, stay a few months, save some money, and then run a better place. Makes sense, doesn't it? It did. I was tired of paying 800 reais rent alone. Tired of coming home to emptiness. Tired of being alone. I'll think about it. I thought for a week, and in the end, I accepted. On moving day, Raphael painted the back house white. 2 coats. Installed a shelf in the kitchen. Put contact paper on the sink. "Now it's perfect," he said, smiling. "I brought my bed, my sheets, my pots, the small television my mother gave me, arranged everything with care, put flowers on the coffee table, thought it was a new beginning, but already in the first week I noticed something was wrong. Donna Marlena, his mother, knocked on the door at 7 in the morning, didn't wait for an answer, came in, brought fresh bread, just picked it up, looked at the sink, looked at the unmade bed, looked at me in pajamas, hair down, sleepy face. You going to work like that? I laughed awkwardly. I'll get ready now. She stood at the door, looking, measuring. Raphael was in the shower, didn't hear anything. Every night before sleeping, I looked out the window and saw the front house kitchen lit. Shadows passing, loud television, sound of pots, sound of life that wasn't mine. A week later, Raphael changed the lock. Done. Now it's just ours. He handed me the key with a smile. But on Monday, Donna Marlene came in again, early morning, with a key. Raphael had a copy made for me, in case you need help. I kept that in my chest, like keeping an olive pit in your mouth and forgetting to spit it out. After 6 months, he stopped talking about renting our own place, and I stopped asking. Raphael worked Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6, sometimes later, depending on the call. Broken refrigerator in Copa, air conditioning problem in Ipanema. He'd call me back. Sweaty smelling, like refrigerant gas, tired. I did house cleaning 3 times a week. Big houses in Recreo Barra, Snow Conrado, earned $150 per day, cash payment at the end of the shift. Saved everything in an empty Ninho milk can hidden in the cabinet under the sink. Never told Raphael, never told anyone. Woke up every day at 5:30, made coffee, cut his bread in thin slices, left butter out of the fridge to soften. He ate quickly, standing looking at his phone, sometimes kissed my forehead, sometimes just left. The routine was this. I cleaned the house, washed clothes, cooked. He worked, came back, ate, watched television, slept. We talked little, had sex even less. And Donna Marlena came every day. Sometimes morning, sometimes afternoon. Always with something. Bean lunchbox, cornmeal cake, stale bread not to waste. And always stayed, sat on the edge of my bed, and asked questions. Do you go to church? Sometimes. Sometimes. God doesn't like sometimes. Or else, why isn't there a nice curtain on this window? Haven't bought one yet. Raphael deserves a better kept house. Or worse. Are you cooking properly for him? Men need to eat well or they find food elsewhere. I always answered politely. Always quietly. Always thank you, Donna Marlena. But inside I died a little with each visit. One July afternoon, I was organizing the closet when I heard the door open. Her, hi dear, came to get a dish towel to lend to the neighbor. Before I could speak, she opened my closet, went through my clothes, my sheets, my underwear drawer. I stood there, could only watch. She grabbed any towel and left. By okay, I locked the door, sat on the floor, cried without sound. At night, I told Raphael, your mother went into my closet. He didn't even look up from his phone. And she touched my things. Raphael without asking. Mothers like that, nosy but good-hearted. She invaded my privacy. You're exaggerating. He turned over in 5 minutes. He was snoring. The next day, I locked the door. When leaving, hid the key. When I came back, Donna Marlena was inside the house. Where's the key? I asked, trying to stay calm. Raphael gave me another one, but I locked it. It's for emergencies, right? She smiled. What if you feel sick and I need to get in? I stopped locking, stopped saving money in the can, started hiding it in my underwear, folded in 4, stopped expecting privacy. On our 1-year anniversary, I made cake, chocolate with brigadeiro frosting, lit a candle. Waited. He arrived at 10 at night drunk, smelling like beer and fried food. What? Why? That face? It's our anniversary. He laughed. Dating anniversary is nonsense. I blew out the candle alone. Ate the cake alone. Cried alone. That night, I looked out the window and saw Donna Marlena stirring a pressure cooker. The hissing gave me anxiety. That sound of something about to explode. I thought I'm also a pressure cooker, but I still didn't know how to remove the valve. August arrived cold, the kind of Rio cold that comes through door gaps that makes you sleep in socks. On the first Saturday of the month, there was a party, Rodrigo's birthday. Raphael's brother. Barbecue in the front yard. Started at noon. I helped set up from early on. Put tablecloths on tables. Brought for arranged disposable cups in rows. Donna Marlene kept calling me. Bring ice. Get napkins. Take this to the kitchen. The other women, sister-in-law, neighbors, friends, were sitting drinking beer laughing. I carried trays. In the middle of the afternoon, I went to the bathroom. The kitchen door was ajar. I heard voices. She's so boring, right? Seems like she's always tired. It was Patricia Rodrigo's wife. It's because she has no family, poor thing. Woman without a mother ends up like this, kind of neglected. Donna Marlena? My stomach turned. Raphael could have chosen better. Laughter, I stood their heart beating in my ears, hands sweating cold. When I came out, they were in the living room, talking as if nothing had happened. I went to the yard. Raphael had his back turned, beer in hand, laughing with friends. I touched his arm. Rafa, need to talk to you. Not now, I'm talking. It's important. He turned to me, irritated. What? I told him, quietly trembling. He stayed silent, then shrugged. They were drunk. Your mother said you could have chosen better. So what? My mother talks shit when she drinks. You do too. I never stop being dramatic. He went back to the group, laughed loud. I stood there, standing, holding an empty disposable cup, went back to the back house, locked the door, sat on the bed, didn't cry, just kept looking at the white wall. I thought, I don't belong here. I never belonged. When night fell, he came back stumbling, smelling like steak and beer. Come here, let's sleep. I'm leaving. He laughed loud as if I'd told a joke. Where to? You have nobody. And that night, for the first time, I thought he was right. But I also thought if I have nobody, then I only have myself. And maybe that was enough. Monday dawned cloudy. Raphael left before 7 without saying anything. I lay there looking at the ceiling, thinking about the phrase he threw in my face. You have nobody. Really? I grabbed my phone, scrolled through contacts, stopped at the name Jessica Cousin. We hadn't talked in months. Since my mother's funeral, when she hugged me crying and said, anything, call me, I took a deep breath, called. She answered on the third ring. Hi, stranger. I started crying before speaking. Hey, what's wrong? Tell me, I need help. Jessica didn't ask questions, didn't ask for explanations, just said, come here. She lived in Campo Grande in a 2-bedroom apartment with her husband, Thiago, and their young daughter, Isabela. There's a sofa bed in the living room. You can stay as long as you need. I hung up, wiped the tears, and for the first time in months felt maybe I could, but it wasn't easy. That afternoon, Donna Marlena appeared with Stroganoff lunchbox, sat on the bed, looked at me with that way of someone who knows everything. Raphael told me you want to leave. I was speechless. He's suffering, you know. She sighed. Thinks you don't like him anymore. Donna Marlene, marriage is like this. Has ups and downs. I endured 30 years of a man who drank and gambled, and I was happy. I'm not married to him, but you live in my house. Uzi my things, eat my food. She stood up. Ingratitude is ugly, you know. Left without closing the door. I sat there trembling. At night, Raphael came back different. Brought flowers, red roses from the market. Sorry I was an asshole. Held my hand. I love you. We'll leave here. I promise, just a few more months. I wanted to believe. But when he slept, I grabbed my phone and typed how to leave abusive relationship. Read until 3 in the morning. Read about gaslighting, about manipulation, about financial control, about isolation, and I understood there was a name for all of that. I bought a notebook, small pink cover spiral, cost 3 reais at the stationery store near the bus stop, hid it under the mattress, and started writing everything down. September 16th, Donna Marlene came in without warning, asked how much money I have saved. September 20th, Raphael said I'm dramatic, that nobody else would put up with me. September 23rd, he locked my phone in the car glove compartment so I'd stop looking for it. Writing made me feel lucid, as if finally I could see it. On Thursday, I went to clean at Donna Sylvia's house in Beira. She was a retired psychologist, lived alone in an apartment full of books and plants. While I cleaned, she read on the balcony drinking tea. In the middle of the afternoon, she asked, "Are you okay?" I stopped, cloth in hand. "I am." She took off her glasses. "Doesn't seem like it." I sat on the floor without meaning to and collapsed. Told her everything. The back house, the mother-in-law, The humiliations, the feeling of being trapped. Donna Sylvia didn't interrupt me. When I finished, she said, "You know you can leave, right? I have nowhere to go." "You do. There's always somewhere." She went to the kitchen, came back with 2 papers. "This here is the phone number of a shelter. They help women start over." She pointed to the yellow post-it. "And this is a lawyer's contact. She works pro bono." I kept the papers folded in my underwear. That night I made passion fruit ice cream, my mother's recipe, ate alone in bed while Raphael slept. Each spoonful was a small rebellion. I looked at the pressure cooker Donna Marlena gave me as a gift. I thought, I'm not going to let anyone control when I explode anymore. And for the first time in months, I smiled. It took me 3 weeks to gather courage, but one October morning, blue sky, fresh wind, while Raphael worked and Donna Marlene went to the market, I packed a backpack, 3 changes of clothes, the pink notebook, documents, the can with money, left the pots, the sheets, the television, left everything that wasn't truly mine, took bus 869, Campo Grande. Jessica opened the door before I knocked, hugged me tight. "Welcome home." I cried on her couch all afternoon. In the first days, I barely left the apartment, was afraid of running into Raphael, Donna Marlena, someone who would judge me. But Jessica didn't pressure me. "Let me be quiet." In the second week, she asked, "Want to work with me? Need help at the salon?" Jessica was a worked at a small salon in Bangu, shared with 2 other professionals. I'd never done nails in my life, but she taught me, file, push, cuticles, apply base coat, color, top coat, steady hand, patience. It's almost therapy, she'd say, and it pays the bills. I started as an assistant. Organized polishes, cleaned tables, answered the phone. Then I became a manicurist, discovered I was good, detail-oriented, patient. Clients liked talking to me and I liked listening. With my first salary, 400 reais, I bought a used bicycle, aqua green with a little basket in front. Rode on Sundays alone without destination. Wind on. My face reminded me I'm free. One afternoon riding along the Strada, Dumendanai, I saw Ruff. He was leaving a snack bar, holding hands with another woman, brunette, curly hair, laughing loud. My heart raced, but not from pain. From relief, I thought he already replaced me, and I don't even miss him. I pedaled faster. That night, Jessica called me for beer at the corner bar. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I am," and it was true. December arrived, hot, Christmas approaching. A client from the Salon Aina offered me a job. She had a clothing store in Realengo, needed a sales clerk, 3 times a week, fixed salary, 1,200. I accepted right away. That's where I met Marcelo. He was a supplier, sold jewelry, accessories, makeup. Tall, deep voice, brown eyes that smiled before his mouth, too friendly, asked me for a kai after work. I went. We talked about everything, music, work, childhood, plans. He paid without asking. The next day he sent a message, "I really liked you." I liked him too. We started going out, movies, beach, bar. Marcelo was funny, affectionate, but he was also strange. Disappeared for days, came back with vague excuses. Work, family, busy. One night he drank too much, got aggressive with the waiter, yelled because the beer came warm, cursed, then laughed as if it were nothing. I felt a chill down my spine. The following week, we went out to dinner, simple restaurant in Bangu. When the bill came, he looked at me. "Split it?" "Sure." I pulled out my wallet. He frowned. "You make good money like that?" "I make enough because I thought you were, I don't know, more needy." I got up from the table. "Where are you going?" "Leaving." I put my half of the money on the table, and don't call me anymore. I left the restaurant, sat on the sidewalk, took a deep breath, thought about the pressure cooker, the pink notebook, the aqua green bicycle, thought, I'm not going to accept less than I deserve anymore. Went home pedaling slowly with the cold December wind on my face. January arrived. Heavy, hot, full of promises. Jessica made me a proposal. "Want to be partners? You're good at this. I trust you." We signed a contract on a Saturday, 50-50. Real partnership. Drank cheap sparkling wine in a disposable cup, laughed loud. With the money I saved, I bought a used camera. Nothing professional, but enough. I started photographing, Clients, the salon, the street, flowers in Jessica's window. Discovered I liked capturing details, an elderly woman's hand painting her granddaughter's nails, the reflection of pink neon in the foggy mirror. The bicycle leaning against the wall, opened an Instagram profile, posted the photos. In a month gained 200 followers. Some asked for quotes, photo sessions, shoots. I charged cheap, but I charged. For the first time, I had money that was only mine. Bank account in my name, password only. I knew. Key to my drawer, freedom to say no. One afternoon while adjusting the camera focus at the salon window, I saw a pregnant client leaving. She smiled at her belly, ran her hands slowly, like someone cradling a secret. I clicked. And in that photo, I understood starting over isn't becoming another person. It's becoming the person you always were before someone convinced you otherwise. At night, I rode to Sepetiba Beach, sat on the sands, camera in my lap. The sea made noise. That sound of something that comes and goes, that never tires. I thought about Donna Marlena, about Raphael, the back house, the pressure cooker, the pink notebook, and I thought, they don't define me anymore. I took a photo of the horizon, orange sky, almost black sea. The line between them exacts, unbreakable, saved it with the title, Honeymoon with Myself. If you're going through a situation of psychological violence, control, or abuse, know this: you're not alone. There are support networks, shelters, free therapy, and people willing to help. Call 180 Women's Service Center or look for a Cross-Crease or public defender's office in your city. Starting over is possible, and you deserve it. You know, this story makes me think, how many times do we confuse love with settling? How many times do we accept crumbs thinking it's a feast? The truth is, starting over hurts, yes, but you know what hurts more? Looking in the mirror 10 years from now and realizing you spent an entire decade living the life someone else chose for you. Freedom isn't absence of fear, it's the courage to take the next step even while trembling. And if you made it here to the end of this story, it's because something in you recognized you deserve more. So I invite you, subscribe to the channel, leave your like to strengthen this content, turn on notifications not to miss the next stories, and comment down below where you're watching from. Want to know if there are people from all over Brazil or even from abroad following these stories of starting over? Your presence here matters. Your like helps other women find this message. And who knows, your comment might be the push someone needs to take the first step. See you in the next video, and remember, you're never alone on this journey. June arrived with that mid-year cold that asks for blankets and hot tea. I was at the salon finishing Donna Fatima's nails, loyal client every week, always punctual when my phone vibrated. Message from an unknown number. Hi, it's Camila Donna. Sylvia gave me your contact. I need help. My heart tightened. That kind of message I knew well. Finished Donna. Fatima Snells cleaned the table, grabbed my phone. Hi. Camila, you can talk? I'm here. She took a while to respond. When she did, it was a long audio, trembling voice, tearful, trying to hold it together. Told me she lived with her boyfriend and mother-in-law, had no privacy. He said she was exaggerated, dramatic, that nobody else would want her. That she was saving money in secret but was afraid she couldn't leave. I listened to the audio twice, responded, Camila, you will make it. I made it, and you will too. I'll give you some contacts, and if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Pass the shelter phone number, the lawyer, CVV 180, and also my personal number. Call me whenever you want, middle of the night, early morning, whenever I answer. She thanked me, cried, said she'd try. I hung up and stayed looking out the salon window. Busy Bangu Street, people passing, crowded bus, street vendors shouting, life happening. Jessica came close, put her hand on my shoulder. Everything okay? Yeah, just remembering how hard everything was 6 months ago. She smiled and looked at you now. Salon partner, photographer, living alone. It was true 2 weeks ago I'd rented a studio apartment in Realengo. Small but mine. My key, my lock, my silence. Bought new sheets, new towel, new cup, built everything from scratch. And every night before sleeping, I looked at the ceiling, my ceiling, and thought I made it. That Friday after work, I took the bicycle and went to the beach. Not Sepetiba this time, went to Barra de Garatiba, farther emptier, took the camera, sat on the sand, took photos of the sky, the sea, footprints in the sand that the wind slowly erased. A woman passed near me, alone to looked at the horizon with that look of someone thinking about 1,000 things at once. I smiled at her, she smiled back, and in that smile I understood we never know the battle the other person is fighting. But sometimes just a smile, just an I understand you, already makes a difference. Went home pedaling slowly. Stopped at the market, bought ingredients to make stroganoff, the kind my mother made with potato sticks on top and fluffy rice. Cooked alone in my kitchen, listening to loud music. Ate alone at my table, unhurried. And when I finished, washed the dishes, dried, put everything away. Sat on the couch, the one I bought secondhand but was mine, and opened the pink notebook. The last page was blank. Grabbed the pen and wrote, "Today I understood that freedom isn't absence of fear. It's the courage to continue even with fear. It's the certainty that you deserve more. It's the decision to never again accept crumbs. Today I chose myself, and I will continue choosing myself every day until it becomes a habit." Closed the notebook, looked out the window. The street was empty, just the lit street light and the distant sound of a car passing. Thought about Raphael, Donna Marlene, everything I went through, and realized I no longer felt anger, just felt freedom. Grabbed my phone, opened Instagram, posted the horizon photo I took earlier, caption, "Honeymoon with myself, and it's being the best trip of my life." In 5 minutes came the likes, comments, "You're an inspiration. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm also starting over. Your account gave me strength." Read each one, thanked each one, and realized my story wasn't just mine, it was all of ours. Turned off the phone, lay in bed, pulled the blanket, and slept. Without fear, without guilt, without weight. For the first time in years, I slept whole. If you're reading this and recognized yourself in some piece of this story, in the swallowed silence, in the key that wasn't yours, in the phrase that diminished you, in the feeling of not belonging to your own life, know this: you're not alone, and you can leave. It won't be easy, it won't be fast, but it will be worth every step. Seek help. Call 180 Women's Service Center, look for a Cross Crease Public Defender's office, talk to someone you trust, write everything down, save money, make a safety plan, and remember, starting over isn't failure. Starting over is courage. You deserve a life where you don't need to ask permission to exist. You deserve a door only you have the key to. You deserve peace, and one day might not be today. Might not be tomorrow, but it will come. You'll look in the mirror and recognize the woman who was always there waiting to be free. That day will come. And when it does, you'll understand the most important honeymoon of your life is the one you have with yourself. Support resources, Women's Service Center 180 free, call 24 hours, Cross Crease Social Assistance Reference Centers, look in your city, Public Defender's Office free, legal assistance, CVV 188, emotional support, 24 hours, Women's Police Station report in case of violence. Shelter houses temporary and confidential shelter for women at risk. You're not alone and you can do it. Which city are you watching from? Comment down below.